Hi my friends and everybody. Welcome to GMK World Channel. This is Gundam Universe Session. Today, we will present a complete summary of Universal Century before the One-Year War. The Universal Century, commonly abbreviated as Universal Century, is one of the timelines of the Gundam anime series, along with the first timeline to be created. The Universal Century calendar starting in 1990 Anno Domini. In the Universal Century chronology, the last dated entry of the Anno Domini system was 2045 Anno Domini or start Universal Century 0001. This episode will present you until Universal Century 0078 or before the One-Year War in Universal Century 0079. In 1990 Anno Domini, concerns over sporadically localized conflicts erupting around the globe run risk of spiraling out of control and escalating into a Third World War. The various crises also fueled concerns over severe pollution, overpopulation, resource shortages, famine, and increasing levels in crime and violence. In 1999 Anno Domini, the Earth Federation government is established to deal with the global crisis. The human space colonization program is announced around this time. Earth's surface is divided into 11 administrative areas: North America, South America, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Eurasia, South Asia, East Asia, Middle East, North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, Oceania. In 2005 Anno Domini, the first solar power satellite is successfully launched. In 2009 Anno Domini, the Earth Federation Forces is founded. In 2025 Anno Domini, the Jupiter Energy Fleet is launched from the lunar orbit. In 2045 Anno Domini, after more than 40 years, construction of the first colony begins. After 2045 Anno Domini or Universal Century 0001, with Earth's population surpassing 9 billion, an ambitious space colonization program begins. The migration of humans to the colonies, the moon, and to space. By the time of this transition, the calendar is changed to the Universal Century era. The Laplace space station is built in Earth's orbit. Ronan Marcenas is elected as the first Prime Minister of the Earth Federation. During the calendar change ceremony, terrorists use solar-powered explosives to destroy the Laplace space station, killing most of the inhabitants. One survivor, Siam Vist, comes across the Universal Century Charter, Laplace's box, which dictates that the inhabitants of space should be given self-governance without interference from the Earth. Realizing that the words contain the power to destroy the Earth Federation, Siam takes the document with him into hiding and marries into the influential Vist family. In this year the construction of Side 1, 1 Lyra, Bunch 1, Shangri-La, Space Colony is completed. And the Colony Management Corporation, CMC, is established. In the Universal Century 0009, Zeon Deikun and Anton Flanagan are born. In the Universal Century 0015, the population of the space colonies reaches 1.5 million. Trenov Yvan Minovsky, father of Minovsky Physics, is born in Ukraine. In the Universal Century 0016, the Federation establishes the Frontier Settlement Transport Bureau, FSTB. In the Universal Century 0017, Degwin Sodo Zabi is born. In the Universal Century 0018, 1-millionth Spacenoid baby born in Side 2, 4 Lyra. Side 1, 1 Lyra, Bunch 1, Shangri-La, selected as site of Olympiad Lai, the first to be held off the Earth. In the Universal Century 0020, the population of the space colonies reaches 5 million. The Earth Federation Forces is divided into separate land, sea and air forces. In the Universal Century 0022, the Earth Federation declares an end to warfare on the surface of Earth. In the Universal Century 0025, the population of the space colonies reaches 50 million. In the Universal Century 0027, Von Braun, the first permanent lunar settlement, is established. The Lunar Economic Development Authority, LEDA, an independent non-governmental organization, is established. In the Universal Century 0030, due to suspicions of forced immigration, Federation privatizes the Frontier Settlement Transport Bureau, FSTB, which becomes the Space Transport Enterprise Group, STEP. The population of the space colonies reaches 500 million. In the Universal Century 0034, the Federation again reorganizes the Space Transport Enterprise Group. An independent non-governmental organization, the Public Corporation of Space Transport, PCST, is established. Construction of Side 2, 4 Lyra, Bunch 1 space colony is completed. In the Universal Century 0040, 40% of the human population, roughly 5 billion people, has emigrated to space. In the Universal Century 0044, the F develops the RTX-44 main battle tank, MBT, land combat vehicle. Half of the total human population now lives in space. Heroism, the philosophy that the Earth is sacred and that humanity should leave it in peace, begins to spread. Ronan Marcenas, the grandson of Ricardo Marcenas, is born. In the Universal Century 0045, the asteroid Juno, later known as Luna 2, is placed in Earth orbit to help with space colony construction. The Minovsky Physics Society is founded at the Side 3 colony cluster. In the Universal Century 0046, Zeon Deikun begins to propagate his philosophy of Kantolism, a synthesis of erism and sideism, the belief the sides should be treated as sovereign nations. In the Universal Century 0047, development of the Minovsky-Ionesco fusion reactor begins. In the Universal Century 0050, the human population reaches 11 billion people, 9 billion of whom have emigrated to space. The following year, the Earth Federation halts construction of new space colonies, and the colonization program is effectively ended. Degwin Sodo Zabi marries the much younger Nallis. Terry Sanders Jr. is born. In the Universal Century 0052, Zeon Deikun moves to Side 3 to spread his ideology. Deikun argues that humanity should complete its migration to space, and that the space colonies should be treated as independent nations. Jinyus Sahalin is born. In the Universal Century 0058, Side 3 declares its independence, and the Autonomous Republic of Munzo is established. A militia, the Colony Republican Guard, is formed. In the Universal Century 0059, the Earth Federal Space Force, EFSF, is established as a separate service. The Federation adopts the Bardet policy and applies economic sanctions against Side 3, 2 Lyra. Kazbal Rem Deikun or Char Aznable is born. Ina Sahalin is born. In the Universal Century 0060, the Federation forces begin an arms build-up, organizing the Earth Federation Space Force and converting Luna 2 into a military base. The Federation launches the Year 60 Armament Reinforcement Plan, spearheaded by the F. Luna 2 is converted into a military base. Bright Noah is born. In the Universal Century 0061, the F fields the Type 61 twin 150mm MBT. Mirai Yashima is born. Michelle Ninarich is born. In the Universal Century 0062, the Colony Republican Guard is elevated to the status of a full-fledged military, the Zeon Elite Force, ZEF. Alien Exclusion Act passed. Zeon Elite Force Academy, ZEFA, founded in Side 3, 2 Lyra. Artesia Sam Deikun is born. Lala Soon is born. Kiki Rosita is born. In the Universal Century 0063, Amuro Ray is born. In the Universal Century 0064, the F conducts a naval review. The new spaceships developed as part of the Year 60 Armament Reinforcement Plan take center stage. Hayato Kobayashi and Fra Bo are born. In the Universal Century 0065, the researchers of the Minovsky Physics Society observe a unique electromagnetic effect, which leads to the discovery of the Minovsky particle. A political schism between Zeon Deikun and the influential Zabi family is made public. In the Universal Century 0067, the Federation rejects a motion for colonial autonomy. Construction plan for Side 7, 3 Lyra, announced. Terence Richmond and Ulhammer T. Keynes demonstrate the Rayand 7 prototype humanoid robot to Rob Torres. In the Universal Century 0068, Zeon Deikun dies of unknown causes, possibly assassinated, and is succeeded by former advisor Degwin Sodo Zabi, whose second son, Sazro, is assassinated in what appears to be an act of revenge by Deikun's followers. In the Universal Century 0069, Degwin Sodo Zabi declares himself sovereign and establishes the Principality of Zeon. Zeon Deikun's followers are purged, and his children Kazval and Artesia Deikun are taken to Earth by Jim Baral and his wife, who purchase the Mass family name and adopt them as Edward and Selah. The ZEF becomes the cadre of a new and vastly expanded Zeon military force, ZMF. The ZMF commissions the first Papua-class transport ship. The validity of Minovsky physics is confirmed by the discovery of the M particle. In the Universal Century 0070, the ZMF completes a megaparticle cannon based on Minovsky physics. The Principality of Zeon commissions its first Chive-class space cruiser. The F-Year 70 Armament Reinforcement Plan produces the Salamis-class cruiser and Magellan-class battleship. In the Universal Century 0071, the ZMF begins development of new weapons for use within a Minovsky particle field. The Minovsky-Ionesco compact fusion reactor is completed. Degwin Sodo proclaims his survival of the selected theory. The F completes the French Franks S-3 Saberfish space fighter and adopts 9x19mm Colt M71A1 as its general issue sidearm. In the Universal Century 0072. In the asteroid belt, the Principality of Zeon begins construction of the asteroid base axis as a way station for its Jupiter fleet. Prominent Zeon scientist Trenov Y Minovsky defects to the Federation, creating a scandal in the Zeon Principality. The ZMF begins the development of the YMT-05 Hildelfer transformable mobile tank. The Yoshima and Kayast families emigrate to Side 2, 4 Lyra. In the Universal Century 0073. The Principality of Zeon completes the first prototype mobile suit, the MS-01. In the Universal Century 0074. The Principality of Zeon completes a prototype version of the MS-05 Zakui. This prototype mobile suit is equipped with a super compact fusion reactor based on Minovsky physics. The first Jupiter energy fleet returns to the Zeon Principality with enough helium superscript 3, hydrogen and methane, to make it energy independent from the Federation. In the Universal Century 0075. The Principality of Zeon rolls out a combat-ready version of the MS-05 Zakui later this year. The first mobile suit training battalion is formed. The Principality of Zeon commissions its first Minovsky-class space cruiser, the first warship designed to carry mobile suits. In the Universal Century 0076. The Principality of Zeon expands its mobile suit production facilities and begins mass production of the MS-05 Zakui, anticipating a possible Earth invasion. The Principality of Zeon begins developing specialized mobile suits for land and sea warfare. In the Universal Century 0077. The Re-Revolution. A nationalist faction seizes control of the local military force in Side 6, 4 Lyra, inciting a civil war with Federation loyalists. The ZMF backs the nationalists, deploying a squad of MS-05B Zakui and blockading the F. The nationalists win, and Side 6 declares independence as the Re-Republic. In the Universal Century 0078. The Principality of Zeon begins mass production of a new model of mobile suit, the MS-06 Zaku 2. The Federation forces launched the RX project, a secret mobile suit development program. The Principality of Zeon announces a state of national mobilization. The Zeon military is divided into a space attack force commanded by Dozal Zabi and a mobile assault force led by Kasilia Zabi. Finally, this is Gundam Universe session. Thanks for watching. For news and more information, please subscribe our GMK World channel.